So now we're going to move into Parivritta Parshvakonasana, so the reverse, the twisting. And be aware that this posture is actually an advanced posture. It was never placed in the series for beginners, and for beginners when they're learning. I never learned this posture until I was doing advanced. So it is quite a difficult posture. It is now acceptable and very much actually placed in there, so it becomes the necessity to do it. So that's why I teach it. But remember, it wasn't part of the primary series, so if you want to leave it out, you can, or if you want to modify it. So I'll show you some modifications that you can do, and the reason why. Again, you see I've placed the belt here. This is just to remind you that when we're doing this posture, we want a separation between the feet. Remember, we talked about how you get tight in the buttocks, you lose the dantian. You actually get too tight in here instead of connecting to here. Separate the feet, and the release comes and you just connect to the lower dantian. And not tight in the buttocks, which means you're not so tight in the hips. So I'll just mention it now. There's a few other postures, but whenever we face the hips forward in this line, we want a separation between the feet. Even in Samastitia, a lot of people need to have the feet slightly apart because of their shape in the femur bone and the pelvis. But definitely in these twists, even this posture, we want that separation to allow freedom to open up the pelvic floor. Okay, so anytime we turn to face the front of the mat, keep a little separation in the feet. So coming into the posture again, I'll show you from this angle where we're coming up from Trikonasana. We come up and then we turn, and I'm doing it in reverse, and we come up. Then we're going to go into the posture. So when I'm coming out of Trikonasana, I'm getting ready. There's a transition to come. So I'm already coming and taking that little step to separate the feet. Then there's a gaze upwards, as if I'm doing Surya Namaskar. And then exhale, as if doing Surya Namaskar, the eyes come down. But this time the eyes are going to start to look at the hand that's going above the head. So in the same way we did Parivritta Trikonasana, we look at the hand that's going above the head and twist from there and come into the posture. So we're coming in that way. Same coming out, we look down at the floor, look at the hand that's in the air, come up, create the twisting, separation of feet, keep looking at the hand and then go over. So this is a very interesting aspect of the practice and using drishti. And as we know, when they talk about drishti, they say look at the hand above the head. So it doesn't say look at it once it's there. It says look at it. So we look at it in the motion as we're going into the posture. We look at it going in, following it all the way around to the other side. Coming up, we look at the opposite hand, follow that hand up, come over, and come into the posture. Okay. So let's ask Helen to come in. Inhale, and she steps. And immediately turning and creating the distance between the feet and the separation of the feet, which she doesn't have. She needs to step more this side. And that will allow then, I'm going to touch on another point, if the quadriceps are tight, it's going to block the joints. So in actual fact, she wants this feeling of bending, reaching, and gently lowering down. So there's still a lot of freedom. We want a lot of freedom in the joint here. So she can really twist. This leg can come back, and then she can lower. Now, it's like the arms are up, and then this hand comes. She looks at this hand, which is going to go above the head, follows that, and at the same time, she comes forward, pulls the lower dantian, and twists over. So this takes a little bit of time to coordinate. It's much harder than Parivritta Trikonasana, but the same principles there. We're looking down. Again, in this posture, there's the reaching, the yang on the exhalation, reaching. Inhalation is softening. Again, the yang is to lengthen so the back foot will actually come off the floor. She reached enough, but the foot stays down. Okay. For many people, and even for Helen, it's a little difficult to get this twist. Sometimes it's better to do it with a foot in the air and just reach back. It'll give you much more freedom in the groin. You can really work the front leg much better by keeping the heel off the floor, but actually reaching. Again, using the yang, reach and reach back with the heel. Good. To come out of it, look down at the floor, inhale, then reverse up. She's going to watch her balance come and adjust the feet. Come up. Keep looking at this hand. This one, let's just keep, don't take your eyes off, and go onto the other side. Okay. And again, if you're having problems, you can't open up the hips enough or you're tight, it's quite okay to do this and reach. And reach there, same motion. Bend the legs, lengthen, heel back. So that way you connect the muscles of the legs. Don't use the quadricep because it'll tighten muscles. Lengthen and reach back. And then you can reach, give that connection from the fingers. To come up, look down at the floor and inhale. Come up. And then follow the hand to Samasthiti. Okay. Keeping the heel lifted, which allows much more freedom in this joint. If I try and take the foot to the floor, this hip generally wants to turn in. So keep this hip open, keep the heel up. If you're still having difficulty, come forward and just place the elbow. Bring the palms together and press and go into the posture in that way. So you don't have to go so deep into the posture, but you can still get all the benefits from the twisting. You get all the benefits of the twisting on the, so it relaxes on the internal organs, the kidneys, flushes all those internal organs. So this still happens, doesn't matter how far you twist. You twist as best you can, but the internal organs are going to be affected. If you keep breathing, fluid breathing, the breath itself is going to actually expand and massage those organs. So you're really using the breath to massage internally. And with the breath, you're allowing chi to flow through the whole body. You're letting prana flow. So difficult posture. It's in the series now. So optional whether you do it or not. For me, it's an option. And it's up to you. I still do it with difficulty, but I'm still doing it just because I'm teaching it. Thank you. Namaste.